Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Here outside on a beautiful warm day in beautiful Vancouver, going for a little walk through the woods. It's like mid-20s, great day, a little breezy but keeps it cool. It is such a fantastic day. But folks, the topic for today's video is why are people leaving in this great province of British Columbia and going elsewhere to, say, other provinces or even out of country? We'll talk about that very shortly. Such a lovely day. I'm always finding new plants and so forth. Oop. It is prime time blackberry season in BC, which is nice. Tons of blackberries. Very green in here, even though it's quite dry. It's actually bone dry. We need some rain. Hopefully some will come very soon. So, I saw on, I think it was the CBC, that a new stat came out saying approximately 70,000 individuals left BC for other provinces, say like Alberta, Ontario, are the main ones. And I don't blame them. It's tough to make a decent living in this country or this province, especially in Vancouver with the cost of everything being so very high, and people are going to other greener pastures, so they say, like our neighboring province Alberta, or even the great province of Ontario. People are going for a variety of reasons. I think the main ones are cost of living and just opportunities, job opportunities. There aren't much. If you're working in industries like finance or hospitality, Toronto is definitely a better bet than Vancouver. Even though there is opportunity here, it's just a lot more of it out east. This is a holly plant. It's a very Christmassy tree because they produce red berries. They're very prickly. So yeah, a lot of people are just leaving because it's just tough to, survive, have a family. Cost of housing, cost of everything is very expensive. BC stands for bring cash. Yeah, you can see how dry it is. Look at the grass. It's looking like a hay color. Not very green. Not anymore. When people come here, there's an interpretation that it's a place to make some money, but in reality it's very tough to earn a living here and prosper. It's just very expensive. Came across these plants here, Oregon grapes they're called. They have a indigenous name to them, but I forget the name of it, but they're everywhere in the Pacific Northwest, and they are edible apparently. I'm not going to try one because I don't really want to take that risk but I'm pretty sure those are Oregon grapes. But yeah, going back on the topic, it's just too hard to make a living. The current NDP government is consumed on taxing us to death, and same on the current Liberal government under Mr. Carney. And I'll give you one example of just the cost of living difference. For instance, gasoline. Gasoline in Ontario is significantly more cheaper, especially in Alberta as well. When I was in Ontario last, it was $1.20 for regular, and here it's like $1.70. Ranges between $1.65, $1.70. It's like 40-50 cents difference, so that adds up for sure. And I'm not sure about Alberta, but I imagine it is probably cheaper than all three. Of course, Alberta produces the most oil, but we don't refine the oil to make gasoline. That gets shipped down to, I believe, in the US for it to be refined and turned into gasoline, which we use for our cars. So why do people stay in BC? Well, I think a number of reasons people stay in British Columbia is for the climate, considering their provinces. It's a more temperate climate, rarely snows in the wintertime, we get rain, but the temperatures never really go below zero. There's times where it sometimes does in the wintertime, but not too often. If you're living in Toronto or in Ontario, Alberta, you get a lot of snow. It gets very cold. But every place has their benefits. Their disadvantages, their advantages. So it just depends what you value more. If you don't mind, paying more for what you get in terms of natural beauty, then BC is your bet. Vancouver is, I would argue, one of the most beautiful cities in Canada. Compared to Toronto, it's definitely one of the most beautiful cities. Toronto is a bigger city, has a better nightlife, but BC is beautiful, Vancouver is beautiful, but it's just expensive. So, anywho, that will sum up today's video. People are leaving in droves. A lot of people are leaving British Columbia because it's just become unaffordable, and they go to other provinces like Ontario, Alberta, even Saskatchewan, maybe Quebec, maybe in the maritime provinces, or they leave the country entirely just because it's too expensive and they can't afford to live here, and it totally makes sense. Anyways, folks, hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon. God bless. Ciao. Mañana. So everybody, this plant here is called Oregon grape. A plant native to the Pacific Northwest. They're everywhere around this park area. They apparently are edible. They're very blue. I've never eaten one. I don't think I will try one quite just yet. They look like a blueberry, but they're not blueberries. They're quite abundant through the Pacific Northwest regions of Canada and the United States of America. But they're beautiful. They're very blue. They look like a blueberry, but they're not a blueberry. The plants are kind of prickly on the side, on the leaf here. Look at that. Oregon grape.